Welcome to IPOB Rapture Media, IPOB press release, November 24th, 2025. IPOB did not cause the insecurity and mortality in the East. Orji Uzor is a liar and a distracted individual. The worldwide family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, denounced the irresponsible and false claim from Senator Orji Uzor that 30,000 individuals lost their lives due to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's activism in the southeast region. This declaration arises from a malevolent spirit and a person who has chosen to barter his kin for selfish political gain. IPOB is extremely upset and enraged by Orji Uzor's false statements, as his assertions are entirely fabricated and part of a deliberate campaign to undermine IPOB and MNK. The insecurity, fatalities, and devastation that occurred in the East were orchestrated by the Nigerian government and certain Eastern politicians to blackmail IPOB and ESN. The IPOB struggle has remained non-violent despite the Nigerian government employing infamous security forces to arrest, torture, forcibly disappear, and carry out extrajudicial killings of numerous IPOB members. The evidence shows that IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have consistently been targets of military aggression, violence, and killings backed by the state. The Nigerian government and its corrupt politicians like Orji Uzor are as malicious as they come, accountable for all the insecurity, unidentified gunmen in the East, and the terrorists throughout the nation. IPOB has demanded impartial investigations into the violence and deaths occurring in the southeast since 2015. Unfortunately, to this day, the disgraced government and its infamous politicians have yet to permit an independent investigation. They are aware of the murderers. Just as the northern elites are involved in the terrorist activities in the north, certain eastern politicians, especially those in the APC party, are complicit in the insecurity affecting the southeast. It is regrettable that Orji Kalu was one of those who colluded with Tinubu's government to confine Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in isolation in Sokoto prison, allowing them to disseminate falsehoods about him and the IPOB he leads. It is clear to all and sundry that Dr. Orji Kalu employed the feared Bakassi boys and slaughtered over 100,000 Igbo youths extrajudicially in Abia State and the southeast region, while he was governor of Abia State. During Orji Kalu's tenure as governor of Abia State for 8 years, remains an economic and security burden to this day. He plundered the state's treasury and is facing an indefinite trial with the EFCC. Each act of blackmail against IPOB was a component of his prior agreement with the federal government aimed at aiding in the destruction of Ipob. In 2015, during our leader's detention, he made a repugnant attempt to eliminate IPOB and was unsuccessful. He was one of those who orchestrated the abduction and extraordinary rendition of our leader. Orji Kalu poses a political risk and is a mass killer. Eventually, the crimes he carried out as a governor in Abia State by exploiting the Bakassi boys' revolutionary movement against his political adversaries will be revealed. He can do anything to satisfy every governing party to hide his wrongdoings, but prosperity will ultimately be the final judge. Orji's statements reveal that he was part of the group that pressured Justice James Omotosho to impose a severely unjust sentence on MNK for advocating for his people's freedom. The citizens of Biafra ought to inquire about Orji Kalu's reasons for undermining his brother Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB demands that Orji Kalu present proof for his assertions. As far as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB are involved, we bear no responsibility for the deaths of any Igbo individuals or the destruction of enterprises in the East since 2015. Regrettably, to this day, the disgraced government and its infamous politicians have never permitted an independent inquiry. They are aware of the murderers, just as the northern elites are involved in the terrorist activities in the north. Certain eastern politicians, especially those in the APC party and some governors, are complicit in the insecurity in the southeast. It is regrettable that Orji Kalu, for whom Mazi Nnamdi Kanu fervently advocated during his imprisonment by the Nigerian government for embezzling Abia state funds, collaborated with the government to sentence him and target him in his quest for liberation from political oppression. A leopard can never change its spots. A traitor shall always be a traitor. Orji Kalu must remember that he is a former convict, and his struggles aren't finished, since the record of his offences will eventually be revealed. it has become clear that Senator Orji was one of those who colluded with APC's and Tinubu's government to imprison Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto without communication, allowing them to fabricate falsehoods about him. Dr. Orji Kalu employed the feared Bakassi boys and executed over 100,000 Igbo youths outside of the legal system in Abia State and the southeast region while serving as governor of Abia State. Orji Kalu, ex-governor of Abia State for 8 years, has remained an economic and security burden until now. He pillaged the state's treasury and is facing an ongoing trial with the EFCC. All blackmail directed at IPOB was part of his prior agreement with the federal government to aid in dismantling IPOB. In 2015, during our leader's detention, he made a troubling attempt to dismantle IPOB and could not succeed. He was one of those who organized the abduction and extraordinary rendition of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. IPOB urges Orji Kalu to present proof of his assertions. As far as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB are involved, we bear no responsibility for the death of any Igbo individual or the damage to businesses in the East. The leader and members of IPOB have consistently been targets of assaults, extrajudicial killings, forced disappearances, and judicial attacks by state-sponsored security forces. Comrade Emma, Powerful Media and Publicity, Secretary for the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. Please don't forget to support the ESN at www.ipob.org.